Committee on House Administration will come to order. I note that a quorum is present. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare recess at any time. I'd like to start by thanking Ranking Member Morelli, members for participating in the two-part committee funding hearing in recent weeks. The hearing with the chairs and ranking members of each House committee took great effort and coordination. I'm grateful to all the members for your participation. In the end, we heard from pretty much every chair and ranking member of the House committees on their requested budgets for the 119th Congress. Holding these hearings is one of the committee's core responsibilities, and I believe these hearings advance our efforts to be more transparent and accountable to the American people. In reviewing each of the budget requests, we wanted to ensure that every committee has the necessary resources to execute their mission without wasting taxpayer dollars, which I believe we achieved with my chairman's mark. The amendment, in a nature of a substitute, provides committees with the funding they need to conduct their important work in the 119th Congress. I'm hopeful that we can pass this resolution today to allow the committees to get to work. Today, we will also be considering a committee resolution setting the intern allocation for the standing and select committees, excluding the Appropriations Committee. Internship opportunities on the Hill provide students and young adults with an opportunity to see government in action. We'll also be considering a resolution to establish an allocation for committees' franked mail. Finally, as our committee oversees federal elections, we'll be considering 5 resolutions to dismiss election challenges from across the country. I thank my colleagues for being here today, and I'm hopeful we'll pass all of these resolutions in a nonpartisan fashion. And I'll now recognize the ranking member, Mr. Morelli, for 5 minutes for the purpose of offering an opening statement.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for calling this meeting to consider, as you indicate, a number of important pieces of institutional legislation that enhance committee capacity and protect one of the core constitutional responsibilities of the House. As we recently established during our series of funding hearings, we must make sufficient investments in our committees, which allows them to hire and retain smart, dedicated staff and enables the execution of their respective missions under House rules. This investment is particularly important as we enter a post-Chevron deference world of legislating, and the burden of drafting and enacting technical and complicated regulations shifts from the executive branch to Congress and to our staffs. And what I would charitably describe as a chaotic start to this administration, we also have to ensure committees are able to exercise rigorous and comprehensive oversight as we endeavor to maintain the separation of powers that our federal government is predicated upon. The Omnibus Committee expense resolution we're considering today, I believe, accomplishes that. And while we're on the topic of committee capacity building, we'll also determine allocations for funding for committee interns, as the chair just indicated, an important tool that provides personnel flexibility to committees as we recruit and train the next generation of public servants. And additionally, we will authorize financial allocations for official communications, or as we refer to it here, franked mail from committees. So I do want to thank the chair for also docketing the dismissal of the 5 deficient and, in my view, frivolous election contests. The Constitution vests the House with the ultimate determinative authority of who can be seated as a member, and that responsibility is further bequeathed to this committee by the Federal Contested Elections Act. So it is vitally important to the health of our democracy that we do not entertain contests that fall short of the requirements of the statute and dismiss them expeditiously. And with that, I do support the pieces of legislation on the agenda today. I urge my colleagues to do the same. I want to thank the chair and the staffs on both sides for all their work. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I'll now call up H-Res 198, providing for the expenses of certain committees of the House of Representatives in the 119th Congress. I want to thank again my colleagues for their cooperation on this important issue. By passing a resolution today, we will allow the committees to begin their critical work in the 119th. I urge my colleagues to vote in favor of the resolution. We can recognize the ranking member, Mr. Morelli, if you have an opening statement.
Yeah, I'm fine.
The clerk will please report H-Res 198.
H-Res 198.
Without objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with. Also, without objection, the resolution shall be considered as read and open to amendment at any point. I have an amendment in the nature of a substitute at the desk. The clerk will please report the amendment.
Amendment in the nature
Without
of
objection, the amendment in the nature of a substitute is considered as read and will be considered as original text for the purpose of further amendment. Do any members seek recognition for amendment or debate? There being no further amendment or debate, the question now occurs in the amendment in the nature of a substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Opinion of chair is the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. The question now occurs on H-Res 198 as amended, reported favorably to the House. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and H-Res 198 as amended is agreed to. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I now call up the following resolutions in block. Committee Resolution 11910, a resolution to approve allocation from the Paid House Committee Internship Program to committees for 2025, and the Committee Resolution 11911, a resolution to approve franked mail allowances for committees in the 119th Congress. Committee Resolution 11910 allocates the 2025 legislative year allowance among each standing and select committee in the House, excluding the Appropriations Committee, for the compensation of intern. Committee Resolution 11911 will set the allocation of official mail allowance for each standing and select committee of the House, excluding appropriations. I urge my colleagues to support these resolutions, and I'll recognize the ranking member, Mr. Morelli, if he'd like to give a statement on these resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Simply that I support these resolutions as they are capacity increasing measures for our fellow committees who I think will need every available tool at their disposal as we continue to work through this Congress, and I urge my colleagues to support the same and yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The clerk will please report Committee Resolutions 11910 and 11911.
resolution to approve.
Without objection, the reading of the resolutions is dispensed with and would be considered in block. Also, without objection, the resolutions shall be considered as read and open to amendment at any point. Do any other members seek recognition for amendment or debate? There being no further amendment or debate, the resolution now occurs on the question now occurs on the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Without objection, the resolutions are agreed to. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. I now call up the following resolutions in block. The first resolution dismissing the election contest related to the office of a representative from the 14th Congressional District of Florida, which was filed on January 9, 2025. The second resolution dismissing the election contest related to the office of representative from the 14th Congressional District of Florida, which was filed on November 17, 2024. Third, the resolution dismissing the election contest related to the office of representative from the 30th Congressional District of Texas. Fourth, the resolution dismissing the election contest related to the office of representative from the 28th Congressional District of Texas. And fifth, a resolution dismissing the election contest related to the office of representative for the at-large Congressional District of Alaska. Is the committee with oversight of our elections. We receive election contests for congressional races. Each of these cases, the candidates either missed the deadline to file challenges or challenged primaries, which the committee does not have jurisdiction over. For these reasons, I urge my colleagues to support the resolutions to dismiss the election contest. I'll now recognize Ranking Member Morelli if you'd like to offer an opening statement.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, the House is vested with the broad and comprehensive authority to establish the procedures and render final decisions relating to the election of its members. The House has consistently and regularly exercised its authority from the very first Congress through the 118th Congress. House Rule 10 and the Federal Contested Elections Act generally assign the committee jurisdiction over contested elections. And today, the committee acts pursuant to this authority to consider 5 resolutions and accompanying reports, recommending the House dismiss various election contests before it. Each of the contests is procedurally deficient in one form or another, and none provides evidence that the contestant has demonstrated a right to the seat. And I appreciate, Mr. Chairman, your work and your staff and their collaboration with our staff. It is critical the House continue to play this role in a professional and bipartisan manner so the American people can be assured that their elected representatives are truly chosen by and for the people. Accordingly, I support the resolutions and urge my colleagues to join me in voting yes. And with that, I thank you and yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The clerk will please report the resolutions.
Dismissing the election.
Without
contest.
objection, the first reading of the resolution is dispensed with. Without objection, the 5 resolutions will be considered in block. Also without objection, the resolution shall be considered as read and open to amendment at any point. Do any other members seek recognition for amendment or debate? There being no further amendment or debate, the question now occurs on the resolutions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the resolutions are agreed to. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. This concludes all matters before the committee, unless any other members have comments. Without objection, the staff is authorized to make necessary technical and conforming changes. If there's no further business, I want to thank the members for their participation. Without objection, the Committee on House Administration stands adjourned.